So behind me, I have a brand new 2023 WRX. I'm a little disappointed because I shot an entire video yesterday on this car of installing a ton of stuff and my SD card got corrupted, so I didn't have a video yesterday, and sometimes that's just how things go. So instead, we're gonna be working on this 2023 WRX today. It is a GT model. So far, we've gone through and we've done a handful of modifications. I'll walk you through those real quick. We have a handful more behind me that we still need to get installed on this thing. So let me show you what I've already done. Let me give you a quick little rundown on the car and then let's get to work. So this is a 2023 WRX GT. It has a ton of OEM additional options already installed. We went through, we did a grille yesterday. It came with the OEM STI front lip, the OEM bezels like I have with the daytime running light, came with the OEM STI side skirts. We just put some rain guards on this thing yesterday if we unlock it from the other side. It came with the OEM vortex generator, the nice metallic finish exhaust finisher trim stuff kind of like I have. On the interior, it's got like nice Alcantara all over the door cards, beautiful Recaro seats, which I wish that these came in a lot of other models because those things are actually fantastic. We've got the Cobb WeatherTech floor mats in here. We've got an STI shift knob that I just put, I guess it's a gear selector in this, but I just installed that. Just installed this Alcantara leather piece there. We've got another WeatherTech floor mat down there, obviously. Back here, I put on an AWE Touring. It is the exact same exhaust that we have on our WRX. Underneath of the car, I installed an SMY sway bar. So we have a ton of stuff on here. Now we still have more stuff to install. We have a set that I just got these tires installed on this morning of Gramlite 57 CRs with a brand new set of DW Extreme Contact all-season tires. We've got a big Cybon carbon fiber hood here, big Cybon carbon fiber trunk and Cybon wing. And then in this box down here, we have a set of BC Racing coilovers. Now we have more. We have a set of TDMI big brake kit that we're gonna have to get installed. Now I got this as a set. I don't know if the rears are gonna be able to work because with the GTs, they have an electronic parking brake, and I think that parking brake is integrated into that rear caliper there. So we'll see what we can make happen. Worst case scenario, the fronts will go on. I know the fronts will fit no problem, and like 80% of your braking comes from the front, so we'll see if we're gonna be able to get past those rears. So I say we start off today with some like the nice stuff that's just gonna make a huge visual difference. And let's just do like the Cybon hood right here. So under the hood, I actually put some stuff in here too, if I can find the hood latch. Boop. I also installed an IAG AOS and a Cobb pitch stop mount. Unfortunately, like I said, all of that footage got lost. It's my own fault. I shouldn't have formatted the SD card that I did format. Pop this thing open, see what we're working with here. Ooh, we got some carbon goodies. Dope, man. All right. I say let's get the stock hood off, get our new one on. It should be pretty easy install. So, get the stock hood off, shouldn't be too bad. There's the hood hinges and then the props. So the props just have a little release clip. So we'll undo the release clip, pull the prop off. I'll have Melanie hold the hood up while I take the 4 hood hinges off. And we can take this hood off, put the new one on. I'm just bring it around and lean it up against the wall. And then we'll grab the new one and get the new one on. This one's super light.
Stop! I was trying to get my side in.
These nuts here on.
Not all the way flat. There you go.
We got our hood latch to put on right here. That will go on like so. Dope. Should go right in like that. So I'm gonna close the hood. Beautiful. Dude, fitment on that is great too. Pretty even with the body lines going around. You just gotta make sure you get those bump stop pieces in there so that way it puts the hood at the level it needs. So now that we got our hood on, I say let's do the trunk. Do our other carbon fiber bit to actually start really making this thing pop. I think once we do the coilovers and the wheels with all the carbon stuff, I think it's really gonna set it off. So the white and the carbon looks really good. Let me show you guys the hood. The fitment on the hood is actually like really, really nice. Sibon has like a hit or miss fitment for carbon fiber. Get out of here, spider. Ah! Sibon's fitment can be hit or miss at times, but on the bottom side, you can transfer everything over. So you still transfer over your hood scoop shrouding. You are gonna break clips on that. I can guarantee you that. Your hood stops will transfer over. You just gotta drill the holes up for them. There's the lighting right here, it's just awkward. Come on. So you will have to drill that hole up. They give you options for where you want your hood struts, and then everything else just mounts up like normal. So that's nice. Next, we're gonna jump over here to the trunk. So before we even get the stock trunk off and get that one on, we need to start pulling some stuff off this one. There's gonna be the interior liner. There's going to be this piece here, this trim piece that goes across, and the license plate that we're gonna have to transfer over to that one. So let's start stripping down this guy and then get that guy up here. And there's like the reverse camera and all that stuff. I'll start off by pulling off the carpet, then we're gonna have to pull off the hood head, the hood hinge here, these rubber stops, everything. We're stripping it all off. Beautiful. Looks like this guy's gonna come off that trim piece that runs across like all the others. We got bolts on the ends, bolts on the insides. We got our license plate bolts right here. We can go ahead and pop these guys out. Trunk release. That's that one there. I see, like that one came off nicely. Right there. And we got one more right here. And then there's our main trunk harness. Now we got to come up here and work on getting out the trim piece and then the reverse lights. There we go. I think, well, this is steel, the hood was aluminum. Okay, we'll walk towards your side. We can just set it down up there in the front of the garage. We can do that. So what I did on the hood, I'm gonna do it on the trunk, you guys. I'm gonna go through, drill up all the holes that need to be drilled. I can see they didn't drill any of them on the trunk, which is kind of annoying. It's not the end of the world, but it would have been nice if Sibon would have actually just drilled up the holes they needed to drill up. So I'm gonna go through here, get everything transferred over, get everything on, and then we may start fitting up the STI wing after this. We'll see. Will do these go right in? Of course not, I'm gonna drill those up. Why would they go right on? Trunk is on. Personally, I like the carbon fiber on here. We are putting on an STI wing. It is full carbon. I think personally, I actually might get this trunk. I kind of like the carbon trunk on this thing, so I may get one. If I get one, I'm gonna leave it wingless, but we do have an STI wing to put on here. I don't think I'm gonna do that quite yet. I think I'm gonna wait on that. I wanna look up Sibon's placement because its wing fits, but it fits like kind of more forward than it does rear. So I just wanna double check fitment on that stuff. So for now, I think we'll get the quick jacks under this thing. We'll swap out these struts and springs for our BC Racing coilovers. Now this is a GT, so it does have the electronic dampening. We are going to be losing the electronic dampening for the coilovers, but I don't think it'll be the end of the world. So maybe while we're doing that, we may do the big brake kit as well. I know for a fact they're gonna fit on the fronts. The rears, I'm gonna have to take a look at the calipers. If the caliper has an integrated e-brake control into it versus like inside the drum or something like that, then the stock rear calipers are gonna have to stay. So we'll figure that out when we get there. Let me get the quick jack set up. Let's get this thing up in the air. Let's start doing some suspension, some brakes. Oh, just like that. I am gonna leave this unplugged and just go turn on the car real quick to see if it throws like a light. I don't think it will, but I wanna double check. So, here's what I've learned. Before I started ripping out the suspension and doing anything like that, I wanted to just verify that it wasn't gonna be bad. WRX GTs, and only WRX GTs, have electronic dampening control in the shocks. Now, we have electronic dampening control in some of the Volkswagens we've had in the past. And when you disconnect those, everything's hunky-dory, it's no problems, right? Not in the Subarus. You unplug the electronic dampening control and it disables SI drive modes, which is weird Well, I mean, I guess not, because the dampening control goes through the SI drive mode. So if you put it in like a sport sharp or a sport drive mode, it would probably like stiffen them up a little bit. Disconnecting it disabled the SI drive mode, gave a little shock looking image on the dash and whatnot. So we're gonna return the coilovers because there's no sense in doing that for a car that's an A to B car. Like, is it gonna look like a little taller? Yeah, will these bigger tires fill out the wheel wells a little bit better? 100% yes. It just sucks. We kind of figured, I've never seen anyone try to do it. I figured it would be all right since we've done it on Volkswagens in the past and it hasn't really been upset or angry or anything like that. So it's whatevs. We're gonna toss the rear wheels on and then jump up to the fronts and we'll start doing the big brake kit and the wheels up there. We are all learning together. These wheels look really freaking good. So before we jump to doing the brakes and everything, I kind of want to knock out a couple of the more smaller things. So we're gonna go ahead and disconnect the battery and do the steering wheel, so that way I can pull the airbag out without it exploding in my face, because that's the last thing that we want. So we'll disconnect the negative and the positive here. To get the airbag out, there's three, oh, this one's got paddle shifter, guys. So there's three small retaining clips in here for the airbag. You just gotta kind of feel around in there and pop them out. There's one, there's two. Pull out the airbag, pop out the airbag connections. Now we need to unplug everything from the clock spring, which is 1 and 2. We'll break free the nut that holds the steering wheel to the steering column, and then we can wiggle this a little bit, take the nut all the way off, pull the steering wheel off, disconnect everything from this wheel, transfer it over to our new one. So don't take it all the way off. If you take it all the way off and you gotta pull the wheel off, sometimes the wheel will get stuck to the clock spring. There it goes. Take that center nut off, pull off the steering wheel. So now we're gonna completely dismantle this steering wheel, swap everything over, the paddle shifters, all this fun stuff to our new wheel. We should be good to go. And then put the new one on and then steering wheel swap. So we have our beautiful leather and Alcantara steering wheel installed here. Next up, we're gonna jump over to doing the third brake light on the rear. But before we do that, check it out. We got our cylinder heads for the 07 STI, left hand, right hand, semi-built heads, GSC cams, valves, retainers, all the good stuff there. So I'll take those over to the shop tomorrow. But for now, we are focusing on this. So third brake light, pretty easy to do. It comes with, I mean, this kit comes with 3 wires, whole bunch of like crimps and whatnot. I'm gonna get it taken care of. I don't like sketchy wiring from companies. It didn't even have heat shrink on any of this, so I just kind of heat shrinked it all together so at least the harness stays together. So we've got this guy, and then there is this adapter harness here that will plug into the tail light, and then we just gotta tap in here. I don't know why they give us 5 wires here and 3 off of that. Seems kind of funny to me, but it's all right. We'll get it done. So let's start off by getting our harness adapter plugged in. And then we're gonna go down here, pop out this cover here, run our wire harness from that taillight to there, and get our third brake light working. Light will pop out. There it goes. Jumper harness plugged in, that end will go to the taillight. This end will wire to the third brake light. On the third brake light, on the bottom, they say green wire is the running light positive, red wire is brake light positive, and black is the negative. So now we have our third brake light installed and working. Looks good. I like it. I got one on my car too. So all we have left at this point is the STI wing and the front brakes. I think I'm going to jump on the wing first. I think the wing's going to be a little bit easier than the brakes. The brakes look a little bit more time consuming. They look pretty straightforward. The only thing that questions me in the brakes is there's these shims and lock washers type deals. So I want to look it up on their website how to install these before I actually install them. I'm not assuming it's going to be hard. It looks pretty self-explanatory and pretty easy, but I just want to double check on those. For the wing, I need to find where it wants to sit because it wants to sit up here and it should sit back here. So let me play with the wing fitment a little bit and kind of see where it wants to be. I got the wing where it kind of has to sit here. I'd like it to sit farther back, but it can't. I mean, it can, but it won't look right. It'll look right, but it won't fit right, I guess I should say. So this is the bare minimum, or as far back as I could push it. So I put tape down underneath of the wing so that way I can just kind of draw on it and not have to worry about anything. So we got the wing where we want it, pulled it off, put tape on it. I traced a Sharpie line around it. Now the problem is here, I already have my line so I can move this. If we move this back, you get this massive underhang line right here, which just looks terrible. And ideally we'd want this to sit farther back, but we can't. So, you know, this is kind of where it's gotta sit, is roughly, where's my line? Roughly right there. So I don't think it looks terrible. I wish that Saibon would have made it so that way we could put it back a little bit farther, kind of like how actual STI wings are. And I feel like it's very tall. I feel like it's a lot taller than a lot of STI wings, but it's whatever. So now that we've got our lines on here and we've got our wing on here, what we need to now do is take the wing off, flip it upside down, make stencils off of the back side of where this is, so that way we can bring those back over, poke out where our holes are, drill the holes into the trunk, and then mount the wing to the trunk. So use my dirty fingers to make a line for this. This is our template for, this actually might work for both sides. If I pick this up and flip it around, it should fit for both. We got our holes, we're just gonna go for it. This side, so we can take all this off now because the wing obviously is not going to be installed with tape under it. So the wing is all installed. It's difficult with this wing because you don't want to have overhang from the wing hanging off the trunk, but I think we got it pretty perfect. As you guys can see, it is like firmly mounted on there. I will say with the wing and the trunk, it is still very light in the hood, or the trunk still does want to fly open. So I would advise keeping your hand like right here and letting it gradually open. But aside from that, dude, it's like, it's on there. So sick. All we have left at this point is the front big brake kit. So now we're gonna jump over to our front brakes. These look pretty self-explanatory. We've got our rotors here, they're 2-piece rotors. We've got our hardware pack, our caliper adapters here, which we're gonna be Loctiting all that stuff down. Some more hardware bolts here. These will go through the calipers like so. It's honestly just bolting up new brakes. We've got our brake lines here, banjo bolts, crush washers, all that stuff in that hardware pack. So this should be pretty easy. Should just be like doing a brake change. So we'll pull off the wheel and tire, pull off the rotor, caliper, all that stuff, get it down to a bare naked thing, get our new rotor on, we'll clean this with some brake clean, start putting our new giant brake kit on this thing. Came off. This caliper, we're just gonna kind of slide back here for right now. I'm gonna pull off the stock rotor. And go ahead and get our caliper bracket on to start with, which is gonna go on like this. I wanna do the brake line and that stuff last because if I can just hook up the brake line and all that stuff and just do it that way, I'm not gonna lose as much brake fluid. We're gonna have to bleed the brakes anyway. So just went to the auto parts store, got some red Loctite. So we'll get these guys on, Loctite them in. I wanna say that the torque spec is 44 foot-pounds, but I'll double check real quick. So rotor, I've already cleaned one side of this rotor with, I already cleaned the back side with brake clean, so that way it'll be all good and dandy. I will say that is a big brake shield. But the caliper that's gonna have the bleeder valves facing upwards. It's no different than if you're doing like Brembo brakes. You're gonna follow the same procedure. You want the bleeder valves facing up. So it looks like I should just be able to, yeah, I can. I would say it looks like I should just be able to slide this guy up and over. Now it is just getting off the stock brake line. So I actually just went to the store, bought a set of line wrenches because I forgot mine at the shop. Don't know what a line wrench is. It's literally just a flared wrench that you can stick over a line. So that way you can get brake lines and whatnot off without destroying them. That. Got our banjo bolt, and then we can hook this guy up. Dude, these look great. Those look phenomenal. And when we were speccing parts for this, we wanted to make sure that the wheels would clear the brakes. So these, like I said, these Graham lights are 18 by 9.5 plus 38. And we got like perfect clearance behind that wheel for that caliper. So all we got left to do is toss on the caliper and the brake rotor and everything on the other side. And then we can go ahead and start bleeding these. I'm gonna have Melanie come out and help me bleed them. We'll use the pressure pot and the vacuum. Actually, I'll probably just have Melanie pump the brakes. That way I can just do a vacuum bleeder on these. But dude, that looks fantastic. So let's go ahead and knock out the other side. Dude, that looked good. So we got our brakes bled, our wheels torqued down. Everything at this point is installed. The car looks great. Personally, if it were my car, I probably would have gone wingless, but you guys know I just like wingless cars over winged cars. Dude, came out awesome. So quick recap, we did wheels, tires, brakes, rear sway bar, AWE touring, Sibon hood, IAG AOS, Cobb bitch stop. What else? We did a lot more. Rain guards, wing trunk, shift selector, steering wheel, Alcantara center console doodad there, third brake light, and a handful of other stuff on this car. It came out great. It looks awesome too. I also confirmed with TDMI they are working on a big brake kit for CVTs for the rear with the electronic parking brakes, so that will be coming out at some point in the future. We just don't know when yet. But overall, man, that came out looking great for a little quick 2-day build. But that's all I got for you guys on this one. I need to clean up the garage, mail these coilovers out, move some stuff from the garage to the shop, prep the STI to come from the shop to the garage, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So with that, if you guys liked the video, you know what to do. Go and hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, sight, and whatever color it turns for you. If you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be, I'll put it in one of these corners. No idea which one quite yet, but with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies.